But the drivers are ready to go out on circuit. It's time to go racing again in X30 Junior qualifying heat B versus C. And there are some cracking race drivers in this one. It is Théophile Nile on pole position from Leo Robinson, Thomas Strauven and Kimi Abraham, Louis Leveau and Ivan Arias from Paul Cayos and Clement Outran, then Vinny Phillips and Arthur Poulain, Andy Rattel and Thibaut Ramakers, then Adam Rahali and Alexis Constant, Freddie Allam and Noah Montero from Arthur Valsort and Ethan Ischier, Thomas Kinsey and Aidan Hassan, Milan Cook, Patrice Kovalevsky, Henk Voigt and Francisco Costa.
And we're about to go for another round of, this time, 8 laps as we switch from senior to the junior class. Had a bit of a talk with Aaron Walker. Always nice to talk to the British driver. Very satisfied about his pace. I was for the senior part, but more than one contender on track here for the junior category, that's for sure. So far we had Théophile Nile, the pole sitter of this race, winner of qualifying heat previously, in front of Fionn McLaughlin and Sebastian Murray. The other heat of the junior class this morning was won by Jaden Dean in front of Bart Harrison and Arthur Poulain, starting from 10th on the grid. You just mentioned him, Jake. Leo Robinson will be searching for his first win of the weekend, certainly. Théophile Nile will try to go for another one to make it 2 in a row. Thomas Strauven and Kimi Abraham, certainly one of the best young drivers on this place. He's been competing here for the past few seasons in all through categories, all the categories of the IAME classes. So certainly one who knows his way around the track, and one of the drivers in difficulty at the back end of the grid.
Yeah, that was Milan Cook. He hadn't got away on the initial formation lap, so he had to wait until everybody had completed the out lap and then join onto the circuit on the formation lap. I did wonder why he wasn't out on the circuit, but now he has managed to get themselves into position. Tim Jolly watching along all the way from Australia. They look so cute, these young guys, but I bet they are savages behind the wheel. You've identified it well, Tim. Brilliant stuff, he says. Nicholas Robasser, our good friend, is watching along. Always nice to listen to you boys. Kind regards from Switzerland. At least you're not too far away. It's a shame that, again, not an opportunity for spectators to attend the race. And of course, Robasser was one of our great racers up at the front end of the X30 shifter category. We will really hope that one day the shifters category will return. It's in flux at the moment, of course, and hopefully it will return. Here we go, straight to the first corner. Robinson tucks right in to the inside line behind Théophile Nile, but loses grip on the way through the first apex as the karts get their way through, and it's going to be a strong run for him in second place still, though, despite that little wobble, as Paul Cayos comes around the outside to try and make up a place or two. Into turn 3, it's getting very clustered as they all hang it out there, trying desperately to get through without incident, and drama into turn 4. Several karts going wide, and there could be an incident or two as they come through. 1 or 2 drivers going off the road. I think that's Freddie Allam just drifting a little bit wide there in the MBR machine. Manages to catch the kart before a major incident occurs, but despite how close it's got, they are keeping it nice and clean on lap 1.
Yeah, that was a hard sequence of corners, wasn't it? I think Paul Ribeiro was involved in a little bit of a contact over there in the middle of the pack. And after that, corner number 4, just after the podium, actually, that part of the track is so narrow and you go through there so fast that anything can happen. But Paul Carlos Ribeiro doing a good job with those lovely colors of the Alonso Kart brand as they had to come completing the opening lap of this qualifying heat. Let's have a look. Théophile Nile, just 7/10 of a second advantage on Leo Robinson. Here's a battle for the back and a move coming up from the 39. This is actually, just behind Arisa, my apologies. Ivan Arias actually coming from 6th to 5th at the moment as he just made his way through corner number 2. Yeah,
that was really nicely done by Kimi Abraham. He opened the door on Louis Leveau, and Arias just decided to dance straight through as well. He might get another opportunity on Kimi Abraham. I have to say, he is one of the most improved drivers of the last 2 years. Kimi Abraham was not a bad driver in Mini X30 at all. Struggled last year in junior. Now he is fighting up in the top 5 where he deserves to be. Really finding some good speed, and the young Belgian definitely giving it a lot of gusto in the early part of this race. We're about to get to 1 quarter distance, 2 laps down and 6 to go. Not many heats, not many laps I should say in these heats, but then there are not many heats to get these things done and dusted right. So you've got to really bring your A game to the table straight out of the blocks in junior. There's the move. That is Clement Outran who gets through on the inside of Louis Leveau. So that's Outran up into 6th position on the Kart Republic chassis with the VDK team doing a grand job there. Clement Outran on the inside. That's Arias who goes back on terms with Kimi Abraham and makes it stick for P4.
Yeah, it's going to be a great battle, and that could actually go the way of Clément Autran as well. Just behind them, they're going to try to go side by side, coming to the hairpin. Watch out for Clément Autran with the VDK. Can he actually make it click? But the door is completely shut at the moment. He's going to have to wait a couple more corners. But in the meantime, Kimi Abraham is going to try to do the same as well. Great driver battle at the moment for a potential fourth position, as we say. And in the meantime, the leading trio is split by 7/10 of a second, 5/10 of a second now between Théophile Nayel and Leo Robinson. He's going to try to catch up as well with the leader. Third place for Thomas Stroven, a bit on his own with a second advantage on the rest of the field. Here they come across. Once again, the start finish straight. And there comes a move, at least the first attempt for Kimi Abraham, who just went for the change of racing line but couldn't make it happen quite yet. But his decreasing the gap is really on the tail of Arias, and this is the moment we had talked about and expected. Actually, Clément Autran going around the inside of Abraham. He didn't want to wait any longer. He just saw that Abraham couldn't actually make the move, just went for it. And now comes his chance, as well as for Paul Riberos. Just behind, maybe in the hairpin, is not happening quite yet.
So here's the battle for the lead as Leo Robinson tries to gain ground on Théophile Nayel. But I'm so impressed with Théophile this weekend. I mean, this is one of the drivers who probably not many drivers will have been picking up on as a potential threat. But he has come straight in from time qualifying, didn't need a tow from anybody, got himself up to the front end of the field, second overall in junior qualifying standings, and did an exceptional job in his opening heat. And here he is, going up against the big guns and throwing absolutely everything at this. This is a really impressive performance from Théophile Nayel, who is definitely coming of age here in Mariembourg.
Yeah, impressive to see indeed. Vinnie Phillips' response, 57.0. This is the fastest lap at the moment for the young British driver who is driving at the moment. Let's see where he is. Actually, Vinnie Phillips done in 15th place, 6 places down from the start, so not maybe the best of outcome for the young British driver. Still on the pace, but there's still half of a second between those two leaders. Théophile Nayel and Leo Robinson up in second, first and second. Then we have Thomas Stroven, 1.2 seconds down, and then a bit of a gap, 3.6 seconds is the space between Louis Leveau and Théophile Nayel at the moment. Clément Autran making his way up to 4th place. My apologies, in front of Arias. Kimi Abraham down to 6th. Paul Carlos Rivero down in 7th. And the rest of the field in 8th place. Arthur Poulin, Andy Rattel and Adam Rattali just outside of the top 10. Fastest lap for Théophile Nayel, once again nailing it. And there comes a move just already inside of the first corner. Beautifully made. It was from the number 34, wasn't it? Making that click. It was Kimi Abraham actually going past Paulo Carlos Rivero. My apologies. And there he comes across the Spaniard. Beautiful battle between the two. And Abraham losing another position. He's going to try to do it all over again.
Noah Montero's making up some good ground, as is Andy Rattel. He's clearly had one too many front fairings get battered in, Andy Rattel, because he's on the CRG chassis with an all-black front fairing. So obviously now trying to gain as much as he possibly can. Montero making good ground, as is Adam Rahali, the Algerian, now up into the top 10, I do believe. So good work there from Rahali, and that's really good work as far as he's concerned. Théophile Nayel still hanging on to this advantage over Leo Robinson by half a second. The rain clouds drifting back over the circuit once again. Could be an interesting one if it breaks before the end of this race, and there are only 2 laps to go. So now we're going to see if Clément Autran is going to sustain this pressure from Ivan Arias as they go into the first corner. A spot of rain on the camera lens, maybe it's starting, but Ivan Arias wants to get this move on Clément Autran as early as possible. Here comes the opportunity. He's not going to take it on the inside there at turn 3. Very tricky, very risky, with a couple of opportunities to come. And don't forget, that's the FA racing driver behind him on the Alonso kart, named after the 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. That is Paul Carlos there in 5th position. So this is a potential opportunity for the Spaniard to pick up a decent finish as well. Let's not forget about that. Thomas Stroven is there in 3rd position, having a very quiet race actually in P3, not having too many difficulties at present, but those clouds are getting very ominous as we go into the final lap. Can Théophile Nayel hang on in front of Robinson? Oh, big moment from Arias!
Oh, I'm afraid that Clément Autran is keeping the kart altogether on the track, but there was a heavy contact and maybe some front fairing disconnected for the driver. We shall see about that. But last lap, as I'm going to head down to the driver's area to catch some of the driver's quotes.
I think it's going to be Théophile Nayel that you'll be speaking to. He's holding on nicely in front of Leo Robinson and not really breaking a sweat at all. Thomas Stroven there in 3rd position. But yes, big mistake from Ivan Arias, who just second-guessed incorrectly where Clément Autran was going to start braking and ended up nudging the back bumper of his car. That could come back to bite him if the front fairing gets loose. Hopefully it won't. won't do. But this man has been so solid, so smooth, so flawless this weekend thus far. Théophile Nal, who got the second fastest lap in qualifying without even needing a teammate to tow. Such has been his relentless speed this weekend. Now he's looking good to become the new favourite to storm the Crows and grab the victories this weekend. As the rain crowds come in, it's going to be Théophile Nal who gets another win on the board in front of Leo Robinson. Everything going smoothly for the Frenchman up front. This is exactly what he wanted, and he's definitely going about it the right way as Théophile Nal takes a second win out of 2 starts, and all is rosy as far as the Frenchman is concerned. No panic, no fuss, no bother. Leo Robinson comfortably there in second place. Thomas Strauven in third position in front of Ivan Arias and Paul Cayos, with Clement Outram struggling in the end to 6th place as a result of all of that. I wonder if there's going to be conversations about it afterwards. But after nearly 11 kilometers of racing, Théophile Nal is the one who emerges victorious again from the pole position. And if he can keep it together for the third race, then he will be the undisputed pole position sitter of the pre-final. So a great opportunity for Théophile Nal to completely dominate proceedings here in the number 27. It's looking ominous for him. The Junior X30 drivers are going to need to pull something special out of the bag if they want to overhaul him here this weekend. And just as the rain starts, Théophile Nal gets the victory in front of Leo Robinson and Thomas Strauven, Ivan Arias and Paul Cayos from Clement Outram and Kimi Abraham. Then it's Andy Rattel and Noah Montero ahead of Louis Leveau in the top 10. Adam Rahali in front of Vinnie Phillips and Arthur Paulin. Then Arthur Vassot and Thibaut Ramakers. Aidan Hassan in 16th place ahead of Patrice Kovalevsky and Ethan Isher. Then it is Thomas Kinsey and Henk Voigt in 20th position ahead of Milen Cook and Freddie Allam. Then it's Francisco Costa and Alexis Constant. And despite the difficult situation and the conditions down there, all 24 drivers managed to get it to the finish line.